Does your school have a Spanish club, or do students want to get one started? Either way, it's great to have activities handy. In this video, I'll share ideas for how you can start a Spanish club and 20 ideas for activities you can do with your Spanish club throughout the school year. Hey, it's Ashley, aka Senorita Spanish, where I provide easy-to-use resources to save you time, energy, and reduce your workload and your stress levels while you plan for your Spanish classes. If you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button and ring that bell, and links to everything that I mentioned in this video will be in the description box below this video. Spanish Club is a great way to offer enrichment to your students and your classes. As much as we want to, we just can't fit everything into a class period throughout the school year. Spanish Club can be a great place to squeeze in some of that fun stuff you want to do, but you just can't get to, and can provide enrichment to students who are especially interested in the language that you teach. Let's talk about starting a Spanish club, how much it costs, when to meet, where to meet, and ideas for activities for things you can do throughout the school year with your students. So let's talk about starting a club. I personally think when it comes to starting a club, the ideal situation is to have students in charge, right? That way it's not all on you to be organizing things and trying to get students interested and trying to get students to come. If this can be more of a student-led effort, that is a win. It's good for them to figure out how to organize things, how to plan things, all of that sort of stuff. You can just kind of be the guide on the side and help encourage them. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep watching for those 20 activity ideas, because sometimes those leaders are going to get stuck and they might need a little bit of a push. But personally, I think the best way to handle this is to have students be the leaders of the organization. Whether this is one student who's really into things, or maybe a group of 3 to 4 students who are going to be your officers. And if you want to, you can give them titles and roles, or they can kind of self-delegate, right? President, treasurer, secretary, all of that sort of stuff. However that's set up, I think the best way to handle it is to have a small group of students organizing and planning all of the different things that your club will do. Of course, part of having students organize it is that you might have to be okay with a little less, organized than what you might hope, but that's okay. It's part of their learning process, and that's good for them. Do you already have a Spanish club going at your school? If you do, comment below this video, yes, so I know where you are in this process. Let's talk about how often do you meet. I again think this depends a little bit on your situation and your school and how big your club is. You might meet once a month, you might meet once a week, you might meet quarterly, and that's just going to depend on how interested your students are in this. And sometimes students have like 60 other activities going on, so what can fit into their schedule and what sort of attendance and turnout will you have in all of these activities, right? You don't want to be planning weekly activities and then only have like 1 or 2 kids show up when you've put in all of this time and effort. If that's the case, you might want to move to monthly or even quarterly, and that's just fine. You're just offering this enrichment opportunity for the members. I personally think it's a good policy to have officers meet with you like once a month or maybe just before one of your events. That way they can talk things through and organize things, and then all of the members can come to the actual events. Now it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. How much is this really going to cost? Please do not empty your own wallet organizing and running a Spanish club for your students. I know it can be really tempting because we really just want to provide this opportunity. We get really excited about whatever we come up with, but it costs money and it doesn't have to come from your own bank account. So let's talk about some options for ways that you can fund your Spanish club. Option 1 is to have members join for a small fee, right? Anybody who wants to come be in Spanish club, cool, pay $2, we'll put your name on the list. Option 2 is, as your officers are planning the event, they create a budget for how much that event will cost. Then they divide that budget by how many people they think they will have come to the event and say, okay, all right, we need $20 to host this event. We think we're gonna have 10 people come. Each person is gonna pay $2 and then they can come do whatever this activity is, and that'll just like pay for the popcorn as we watch a movie, or pay for the chocolate as we're gonna have café con chocolate y conversación, right? Whatever it is, your officers can kind of backwards budget and charge a fee. Another option is to ask your school if they have a budget for this. Some schools have funds to use for extracurricular activities, and you won't know if you don't ask. Okay, so now that you know how to start it, who's organizing it, how often you're going to meet, and how you are going to fund these things, let's talk about different activity ideas you could use throughout the year. And some of these are things that you could do over and over again, right? Maybe you decide you're going to have a conversation group every Friday morning before school starts. Awesome. Some of these are going to be things that you're going to plan once and you're only going to want to do them once a year because it was a lot of work and a lot of effort. Even though the students absolutely loved it, you're probably only going to want to do it once a year. So that's okay. I wanted to throw out a lot of different ideas for you, and you can pick and choose different activities that might work best for you. Snacks and selfies. Set up a cute photo booth, have snacks, students take pictures to share with their friends. Use Goose Chase to host a scavenger hunt. The school building is a great place to start, but if you have older students, you could do something around town or go to a location and do the scavenger hunt together. Take a virtual field trip together. Design the club t-shirt. Then order the club t-shirt, wear the club t-shirt, take pictures in the club t-shirt. Yay, club t-shirt! Make cascarones. Take a field trip to a local museum with related exhibits. Or maybe a not so local museum and you take a small road trip to go visit an exhibit. Decorate the doors of Spanish classrooms for different cultural celebrations throughout the year. Cook food together. Café y charlar or chocolate caliente, whatever it is that they want to drink, but have a little small group, have a nice, tasty, delicious drink, and just chat in Spanish. Dance lessons and demonstrations. Bring in a professional, have them teach the students, and everybody dances together. You could also do a lower budget version of that by watching YouTube videos, learning together. That tends to be a lot of fun as people are trying to watch and figure it out and replay and do it together, and that's a great option for community building as well. Make papel picado. Watch movies together. Go to a local restaurant together and do your best to speak Spanish while you are ordering and while you are enjoying the meal. Make sugar skulls. Make ojos de Dios. Make and then break piñatas. Bring in guest speakers from the community, from local colleges, or from the surrounding areas. You could, of course, have people Zoom in or Skype in as well. Divide up in groups to research and then present on a country. And this could be sharing about the food, this could be sharing about the culture, it could be talking about idiomatic expressions from that country. Whatever it is, divide them up into groups, research, and then share what they've learned. This could also be another great way to bring in a guest expert. So as your students are researching, they pull in some information. Maybe they found a great source who's willing to talk and share with the rest of the club. Do a fundraiser together and choose a related cause to donate those funds to. Listen to music together and discuss your favorites. Or you could do a little competition and set up a music bracket and vote for their favorites to see who wins. Have Spanish Club members promote your program by putting on an after-school club for elementary school students to come and learn Spanish for a day or two or a week. Or have Spanish Club members go around to the middle schools or whichever grades are first introduced to language in your school district and have them talk to them about why they should take Spanish, what a great time it is, how much they love the class, what they do in the classroom. Have your Spanish Club members go and do little mini presentations to help grow your program as a whole. What is your favorite activity to do with your Spanish Club? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. That's all that I have for you on Spanish Club. I hope that this was helpful for you. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Don't forget to click subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified of all new content that I create for you in the future. Thanks so much for being here. Oh, by the way, if this was helpful for you, please consider clicking that share button and sending it to a Spanish teacher friend who might also find it helpful. You never know. I hope this video gave you some great ideas for things you can do with your Spanish Club. If there are some things that you do with your club that I didn't mention in this video, I would love to hear about it. Come on over to Instagram and send me a DM. I'll put the link to my Instagram in the description of this video. Can't wait to hear from you.